Ooh, welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just in the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger daily market news analysis. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Let me know down in the comments down below. Make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting that share so other people can spam that like button. Hit that share. If you're watching on TikTok, hit that repost, y'all. What is up? All right, as of the time of recording, Bitcoin currently sitting at $68,483, up almost 12% on the day. We had a nice pump off of the bottom of the range here. Again, we're in the funny business zone. We talked about this. 3/3 is the last lunar eclipse until 2029. And I said yesterday that I'm starting my aggressive DCA. So that is my plan moving forward. I bought some yesterday. I bought some the other day. I bought some this morning at about 64K before we started ripping. I'm going to buy some tomorrow, and I'm going to keep DCAing all of my remainder capital until April 1st is my plan to be completely 100% allocated into this market. Now, this pump is a great start in the right direction. However, I don't think that we're out of the woods. In fact, the big story that's been taking place is Jane Street was sued 2 days ago at 10 a.m. Manipulation has stopped. Bitcoin is up 10%, adding $120 billion to the market cap, and Bitcoin weekly candle has turned green after 5 consecutive red candles. So basically, the narrative is Jane Street gets sued, and then there's no 10 a.m. dump. The manipulation is over, and then we're off to the Neverland. Listen, that's cool. That's a great narrative. It's a great story. I'm going to keep it real, though. I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm not just going to regurgitate whatever else everyone is doing just because. Here's the deal. I have dedicated my whole life to this space, okay? I've been in the proper trenches, in the proper bear markets of 2022, all the way into 2020. I've been in crypto since 2014. I have heard of this company one time before today. All right? One time. So, listen, apparently they were the one that did the 10 crash. They were the one that was been doing the manipulation. They were the one that it's been reported they actually caused 9/11, believe it or not. That the last part is a joke, but the insanity is crazy. And I find the timing of it very ironic. Because I find it very, very fishy. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Now, this is a great start in the right direction of the accumulation that we've been talking about. This is a great start in the right direction to confirm this as a spring. I would not be shocked in the absolute slightest if we have about 5 days until the lunar eclipse. If some player gets sacrificed, maybe it's Jane Street, whatever the case may be, and we come down and sweep these lows. Now, it's not what I'm predicting. I'm DCAing today. I'm DCAing tomorrow. I'm DCAing every single day until April 1st, okay? And the more and more that time goes on, the more and more aggressive that I'm going to be with my DCA. I talked about it yesterday, publicly, told you guys exactly what I was doing and why. And even in the Telegram, you know, this is the funny thing is show me the charts. I will tell you the news. Okay. Show me the charts. I will tell you the news. We talked about this bearish divergence last night. Okay. Last night at 10 p.m. we were like, man, there is a really, really big bearish divergence that's setting up for Bitcoin here. And I'm going to show it to you guys if I can find it. Jesus. Okay. Here it is. Huge bearish divergence. This was at 10 p.m., 9:40 p.m. Huge bearish divergence that was taking place. And then we even specified, it doesn't mean that we won't go lower, but this is a prerequisite for a bottom or a top, because you get these bearish divergences at tops, you get bullish divergences like so at bottoms. We talked about this last night. And this came to fruition in a really, really big way. You can see the price was down. The RSI was going higher. We flipped this bullish on the 15-minute chart. Every single moving average is now sloping up. The volume came in at a very, very beautiful way, but we're not out of the woods. Realistically, we need to take out this right here, $72,300. And what I think is going to happen, I'm not predicting this, but I'm going to be open-minded. I have limit orders at 62K. I have limit orders at 58K, just in case we sweep these liquidity lows, just like we did when FTX went to zero. I don't think that there needs to be a sacrifice like in 2022, because that was a Shemitah year. That was the 7th year cycle. However, I am very much open-minded to it, and I am very fishy of this event that is taking place, that literally everybody and their mother and their brother and their wife's boyfriend is all of a sudden talking about Jane Street. And I've heard about him one time, briefly, in 2022. So really, really fishy to me. But I do want to point this out. Again, the structure, this was the spring. FTX went to zero, $15,644. We came up violently and then came back and swept the lows a couple of weeks later. Now, I'm not predicting that that's what we're going to do, but I think it's on the table, and especially because like people have this like reason to be mad and reason to be celebrating and high-fiving. We've been predicting that this is accumulation for a while. We've been predicting that this is the spring for a while, and realistically, we need to reclaim this 80K and hold it to confirm this as a spring. But I think it's very possible and plausible that within the next week or so, we're going to sweep the lows. And if we get some big event, I'm going to push the chips forward more aggressively. Right now, I'm just doing 1% of my available capital. I'm DCing every single day until the 15th. If there's no event between now and then, I'm going to start being more aggressive about my DCA, and I plan to be 100% allocated with my available capital by April 1st. That is my plan. I'm not telling you what to do, but I am saying that's what I'm doing, and I am saying I literally bought the scam never ends. You talking about the US dollar or what? Maybe Jane Street goes down in 2029. Sure. Like, I think that the big sacrificial lambs are going to be in 2029. There doesn't need to be a sacrifice because we're not in the 7th year. And realistically, in 2022, lots of companies, lots of nonsense was purged. Like FTX went to zero, Luna went to zero, Celsius, Voyager, BlockFi, all these major like companies, major coins, major exchanges, minor exchanges, medium exchanges, they all went to zero. So a lot of that stuff was purged in 2022. So I don't necessarily think or predict that it needs to be this time around. However, like I'm open-minded to it, but I think that nevertheless, it doesn't matter. Like we're here, we're in the home stretch, just like we were in 2022. And, you know, one of these days, I'm going to be, whoops, we don't want to do that. One of these days, I'm going to be mature enough. One of these days, I will be mature enough to not be bothered by morons in the comments who will slander my name and say just verifiably wrong information on my name. One of these days I'll be mature enough and I won't feel the need to prove them wrong. Today is not the day though. Run up, ho. Run up, ho. This is me during the FTX collapse. Okay? During the FTX collapse, I was live streaming the event live as it was crashing. The blood moon on the Blood Monday. For the idiots who are saying, like, I'm copying other creators, as if I am the one who made up the moon. God said, let there be light. And I said, wait a minute, what about the moon? That did not happen. I did not make up the moon. Okay? I just understand the wisdom in following it, just like a farmer did somewhere in your bloodline thousands of years ago, and you're here today because of it. Now, this was me literally live as the FTX was collapsing live, and I was talking about how I fasted for 9 days straight, 4 months in advance. I did not eat anything for 9 consecutive days. Nothing. I only drank water for 9 consecutive days in preparation for what I thought was going to be the climactic event in November. And here we are. No sound? No sound? Okay, hold on. 72% to the downside. Crazy. This is
hold on. We gotta
very, very powerful. And we have the iron is hot while the iron is red. On the side, this is, if you got some cash on the side, this is a major opportunity where you can strike while the iron is hot. Striking while the iron is hot, while the iron is red. When it is hot, it is blood red. Be Like Water says, let's go. And then XDC to $10 says, SBF just got liquidated. Golden Goose, but just got slaughtered. That's what I've been saying. I have been saying this. I have been calling this out. The Shemitah is very, very powerful. And we have one more lunar eclipse in December. Something could happen here, but this to me is the biggest buying opportunity of a FTT at 72%.
The biggest buying opportunity of a lifetime. I had 35% cash ready. I fasted for 9 days consecutively. And these hoes are coming in my comments talking about I'm copying other creators. My brethren in Christ, who in the world fasted for 9 days consecutive in preparation for this event? And not only that, you can see in this video, my orders were being filled live and I was pumped. I was ecstatic. I was not afraid because I had preparation, because I understand how this game is played.
Crazy. This is 24 hours, bro. I'll go down 24%. QNT, this is a good, these are, dude, okay, so I had a mark at on Bitcoin on Margex of 18,900. That got bought. I also have one for XRP. It's getting very close at 38 cents.
You did. Oh, yeah, likely story. You bought the average price of 22K. Yeah, sure. We'll see about that.
Listen, one of these days, I will be mature enough. And I will not feel the need to prove idiots wrong who slander my name with verifiable incorrect information one of these days. But today is not the day. Run up, ho. Run up, ho. Run up, ho. Today is not that day. One of these days will be the day. But today is not that day. Now, I say all that to say, I love the amazing site for sore eyes. It's a great start. We're not out of the woods. We got to get through the 15th, in my opinion. This could be it. If we get an impulse up here to the 200, reclaim this spring, hey, that was it. However, we got to get through that. If there's going to be an event, it's going to be in the next week. And be ready. I am pushing the chips forward right now. I'm buying every single day right now with every bit of a capital I have available right now. Do
Do you use high Kanashi? I do. I do high Kanashi and I use the volume candles. If I'm trading, I use volume candles. If I'm presenting, I like to use the high Kanashi candles. We all love you, bro. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I love you too. Bro, how do I get in the Telegram? Hit me in the DMs, brother. Hit me in the DMs. You can message me on Instagram at yourboyski. You can message me on Twitter at Gayeski. You can message me in the Telegram at yourboyski. Are you fasting now? No, I'm not, but I should. I haven't done a fast in a while. I don't know about a 9-day fast. That was pretty intense, but that's what I did. Listen, I didn't invent the moon anyways. Like, who in the world invented the moon? It wasn't me. The creator did that. Are you buying Ethereum? Yes, Ethereum is added to the buy list. Not only that, not only is it added to the buy list, but we've been longing Ethereum every single day. Today we made $3,900. We have 16 winning days, longing Ethereum, 2 losing days, 6 flat days where I did not trade. So we've been killing the game. Killing the game. Speaking of Ethereum, so listen, I say all that to say, like, hey, the last lunar eclipse until 2029 is on the 3rd. It doesn't mean that there needs to be a sacrificial player or anything like that, but if something fishy is going to show up, it's going to be in the next week or two. And I'm DCAing. If something crazy happens, I will be really aggressively DCAing. Right now I'm doing 1%, and I'm going to be ramping it up until we get to the 15th. As we get to the 15th, I'm going to ramp up really, really exponentially until the 1st of April. I plan to be 100% into the market. Okay. I started this yesterday. I made the video yesterday. Okay. Right now, my average buy on Bitcoin is about 63K. For this time around, my average on XRP is about $1.20 for this time around. Last time I publicly bought about 33 cents. It was more than one cycle, to be honest with you. Same for silver. I bought, which is where most of my capital came from. Most of my dry powder came from me selling silver publicly. I sold a big chunk at $78. I sold a big chunk at $107, probably about the average price of $95. I accumulated for 8 years. 8 years I bought silver at about $20. One of these days, I will have the maturity not to prove these hoes wrong. Today's not the day, though. All right, let's look at Ethereum. Let's look at XRP. Let's look at the Russell. Me. I didn't even look at the Russell today. Let me find out the Russell's at an all-time high. Let me find out. No, not quite, but it's there. So let's look at Ethereum. Big breakout here. Took out this level over here. Beautiful. Put in a higher high. Look at the volume showing up here. Look at the volume. When there is volume, it speaks volume, and it tells you that it is a real move taking place. Now, can we sweep the lows? Sure. Be on guard. But this is a very, very good start in the right direction. And one thing that you guys need to understand. Look at that volume. I love it. If you're a student of the GOAT, Richard D. Wyckoff, you know the importance of volume. All right. All right. Again, Ethereum bounces off this critical level. And one thing you guys need to understand, my friend Josh, he calls it the bear market begets, or the bull market begets the bear. I call it yin yang. Okay? The market is constantly trying to find balance. And how quickly we will forget this. How quickly we will forget this. Thoughts on the stock market? I feel a major pullback incoming. Maybe. I'm DCAing every day until April. I am allocating 100% of my available capital until April. I honestly think that Bitcoin has a decent probability of sweeping those lows around the 3rd. I think Ethereum has already bottomed. I've already talked about this. I think that 1741 was it for Ethereum. Just like in 2022, Ethereum bottomed well before Bitcoin did. But listen, back to the balance, back to the yin yang. For every yen in the market, how quickly people will forget. For every bloody drop, for every death, for every spiral down, for every consecutive we're wrecked, for all of that, for every yen, there is a yang. There is a yang. There is a yang. The market is always finding imbalances in the market. Not only is there a yang, there's a bigger yang too. Check it out. We've been on death for the whole time, since October. Every yen, there is a yang. Trust and belief. People will forget very, very quickly. It always feels like it will never end in the midst of it. It always feels like it is terrible as it's happening. But you have to understand it happens. It's part of the game, and it's your best opportunity. No, bro. It's still a bear. I don't care if it's a bull flag, if it's a bear flag, if it's a gay flag. I know volume when I see it. I know Wyckoff accumulation when I see it. When do you think we'll be out of the woods? The 20th of March. Or reclaiming the prior spring level. Hopium. Was this hopium? As I was buying while the iron was hot in 2022, I fasted 9 days consecutively in preparation. As FTX was collapsing, I was live streaming it, buying the dip. Was it hopium then? Because I was just as pumped as I was today. I have a go down 24%. Something could happen here, but this red be like, while the iron. This is a major opportunity. Was it hopium then? Strike while the iron is hot. Striking while the iron is hot. While the iron is red. Was it hopium then? No, we're not out of the woods. We could absolutely sweep the lows. But this is accumulation. Trust and believe. I am DCAing. Yesterday, I said it. Yesterday. I am pushing the chips forward. I am buying. I sold all of my silver, all of my gold. I accumulated that for 8 years. I sold all of it. I sold a big chunk at $78. I sold a big chunk at $107. People said, no, boo-boo, it went to 121. 1,600 is possible. Anything is possible. I think that here's my thesis, though. Anything is possible. My thesis is Bitcoin is more likely to sweep the lows. I have limit orders at $58,000 for Bitcoin. There are limit orders right now on my account for Bitcoin at $58,000 and $62,000. Tomorrow I'm going to DCA more. Every day I'm going to DCA until April 1st, until I'm out of capital. Now, so I'm more open-minded to Bitcoin sweeping the lows. I have limit orders there. I have limit orders on XRP at 88 cents. I'm more open-minded to Bitcoin sweeping the lows because that's what it did in 2022. FTX collapsed November 9th. And then what came forward on the 22nd, Bitcoin swept the lows. There was no event. So I'm more open-minded to that happening. However, Ethereum bottomed well before Bitcoin did. Well. And it's been on the same uptrend since 2022. Ethereum bottomed in June. The FTX collapse was 23% higher. The April bottom is 23% higher than what it is right now. Or what it was at the low. So me personally, I think Ethereum has bottomed. I think that Ethereum has bottomed. Anything is possible. I'm more open-minded to Bitcoin sweeping the lows. I think it's probably 50-50 if it's bottomed or not, like actual wick day low. The structure, the bottom is forming. But I think Ethereum has bottomed. 1741, I think that was it. Bitcoin start DCA from 48K, guys. Don't listen to this joker. Okay. My average, don't listen to me. You're right. Make your own invested thesis. But what the hell is the difference? Like, do you know how dumb that advice is? My average buy last bear market was $22,000 verifiably. You know how dumb that advice that you just gave? Let's say you're correct. Let's say we know 100% you're correct. 48K, that's where Bitcoin's going to go. From the low, you're talking about another 18%. What the hell is the difference between 58K, 48K, 68K when Bitcoin is at $250,000? When Bitcoin's at $300,000? What the hell is the difference? The risk you run, though, is the same thing everybody does every stinking time. And they wait for the day that never comes. When your wife's boyfriend is telling you that Bitcoin's going to 12K, don't you dare start your DCA until Bitcoin goes to 12K. And the day never comes. The accumulation comes. The opportunity comes, the best opportunity you ever get in your entire life comes, and it leaves, and you didn't accumulate. I'm not even buying until November. Okay. Well, check back. Check back, bro. The amount of confidence is crazy. This guy already been wrong so many times. Yeah, you're right. You're right. 10 for 11 beard bets in my entire career. I called publicly the bottom. Publicly. I was buying live. As FTX was going to zero live, I was buying. That happened factually. Not only did it happen factually, I talked about the event 4 months in advance. November 9th, the blood moon, I fasted for 9 days in preparation. I had all of my capital ready to push the chips forward just like I'm doing right now. And I verifiably bought at $22,000 average price Bitcoin. I verifiably bought at 33 cents XRP. I verifiably sold XRP at the average price of $3.33 and bought a farm. Verifiable. I have receipts. I bet my beard 10 times or 11 times that the bottom is in. 10 times I was correct on the day. So many times I'm wrong. I can think of one time where I bet my beard and I was incorrect. I sold XRP and bought land January 25th, 2025. Let me know what the price of Bitcoin or XRP was January 25th, 2025. Let me know, ho. Let me know, ho. Hoes are getting blocked. I'm happily married. I don't need any hoes in my life. It says you're always wrong. Bro, I was wrong one time, and I was accountable. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Let me give you the standard to hold me. We love caffeine ski. Okay, here's the standard. Here is the standard. Let me tell you the standard. Here's the standard. Here's the standard. Hold me to this standard. Hold every content creator to this standard. Here's the standard. It's very easy. Very easy. The critical dates in the cryptocurrency market over the last 5 years. June 2022, when Luna went to zero. November 9th, 2022. Write these dates down. Hold me to this standard. Hold every content creator to this standard. March 10th, 2023. Silicon Valley Bank goes to zero. 9/11, 2023. The war in Israel kicks off. July 5th, 2024. Local bottom. August 5th, 2024. Japan rate cut fiasco. April 7th, 2025. Tariff bottom. And you could say now, we'll see, we'll come back to it, right? We'll come back to the this event right here. But for now, these are the events. Okay? Go look at the content creator during these events. What were they saying around that time period? What were they telling their audience around this time period? Now, if they do not have videos around this time period, around these dates, that is a giant red flag. If a full-time content creator around the most eventful events in the last 5 years was not making content, it can only mean one of two things. Either A, they are a front runner and they will leave you to the wolves when things get ugly. Hold me to this standard. Hold everyone to this standard. Let the light shine. Let the truth be revealed. Or B, they are deleting videos. Which is crazy malicious. If you call a top every single week and delete the videos until you are correct, very malicious, very sketchy, and if you're dumb enough to believe that, you deserve everything coming your way. That is the standard. Hold me to that standard. Look at my videos during these time periods. What was I saying? Hold every content creator to the same standard. And let the truth shine through. Let be revealed in the darkness. We're going down. I hope so. I have limit orders of 58K. Listen, I am super sketched out by this pump right now. I think it's super fishy that Jane, this company I've heard about one time over the last 5 years, is the talk of the town. Super sketchy. The lunar eclipse is on the 3rd. I am not going to be shocked at all if we sweep the lows on Bitcoin. In fact, I hope it happens because I have limit orders at 58K ready to go. Eddie says all his stuff is accurate. Been watching for years. Appreciate it. Listen, I got it wrong. And then, like, here's the deal too. If they delete when they're wrong, if they're not accountable when they're wrong, it's okay to get things wrong. I've gotten things wrong. If you're not accountable and you delete your videos, I stand on my whole track record, good and bad. The whole totality speaks for itself. Period. Period. You don't think we bounced to 72? Sure. Sure. I think so. But I do think it's very probable that, not probable. decent chance that we sweep the lows over here on the 3rd or around there. Believe me, but I hope you're right, because my 22,000 average price is too high, bro. I hope you're right. My $22,000 average price is too high. But I'm not waiting for the day that never comes, just like every stinking person does every stinking bear market. Every stinking time it gets in the depths of despair, everyone gets greedy at the bottom and they wait for the day that never comes and they never accumulate. Not me. Not me. I will not be waiting for the day that never comes. Love the content, but tell me why this time is different. It's not. It's not different. The lunar eclipse is on the 3rd. I think that the bottom is in. I am accumulating. By the time April comes, we will look back, and I think that the bottom is in. I am pushing the chips forward. I am DCAing 1% of my available capital every single day until the 15th, and then I'm going to ramp up, being 100% allocated by the 1st of April. That is my plan of action. You do with that information what you will. That is what I am doing. But ski says you're legit and consistent. Can't question that. We appreciate you. I appreciate that, bro. Are you dollar cost averaging into VeChain? Yes. I am DCAing into XRP and VeChain at these levels. Next top in 4 years. I think we rock and roll into the next Shemitah, 2028, 2029. Your thoughts on XRP? I haven't bought any XRP since I sold at $3.33 since, and I started buying around the 5th. I think it was the 5th or the 4th. I don't remember. I got $1.20 rebuy on XRP right now, and I'm buying back at these levels. I've been buying a little bit every day. So I'm probably closer to $1.30 at this point because it's up a bit, but I bought a big chunk over here. I got the average of $1.20 over here. But I started buying yesterday. So I got back in at $1.33. And then today I think I got in at like $1.40 something. So I'm probably closer to $1.30 on my rebuy back in, and I feel good about these prices on XRP. I haven't bought a dime of XRP since I sold at $3.33, not a dime. And I started rebuying back in over there. One of these days I will be mature enough. I will be mature enough not to want to prove idiots wrong who slander my name with verifiable information. Today is not the day, though, so run up, ho. Run up, ho. Chainlink, sir. Yeah, Chainlink I'm buying at these levels. I think Chainlink has a great-looking chart, great tokenomics. I'm buying. So I'm buying Chainlink, Bitcoin, XRP, VeChain, are kind of Ethereum. Those are like the 5 blue-chip plays. A little bit of Flux is like a venture capital play for me. And then Dis and Solnic and Dynex. Those are kind of like, smaller cap coins. But heavy into the Bitcoin XRP. Those are the big 2. Will you be buying Solnic? Not only will I be buying Solnic, I am buying Solnic. I have been buying Solnic. And you can buy Solnic on Coinbase now. Excuse me. What about Sui? Listen, for me personally, Sui has a little bit too much inflation. However, like from a pure fundamental, is it a real player? Is the value good? I think it's a good value. Yeah. So like objectively, I think Sui is a good value here. I think it's a real player. I think it's here to stay. I think there's going to be decent returns for Sui. Same thing for Sui. Like people were pissed. I've never had so much hate as when I said that the top of Sui was in. Never in my life have I gotten so much hate as when I was like, sell your Sui. But here you go. Wyckoff distribution. I pulled the chart up. Buying climax, up thrust, UTAD. That is a topping structure. Where's my Wyckoff chart? Here you go. I'll pull it up for you. Hold on. Let me refresh this. I'll show you. One sec. My God, dang it. Buying climax, up thrust, UTAD. This is a distribution top structure. This is what I had for SUI back in 2024 through January of 25. Never have I gotten so much hate as when I said the top is in for SUI. I would not buy. I would take profit. Never. Now, this is full distribution. This is your markdown. You have a huge event here. You have a huge wick here. You grueled down and accumulated and filled out this wick. You're on top of prior support. So I think that SUI is a decent value here. I'm not going to be buying it because there's a little bit too much inflation for me personally, but I think it will return just fine. It'll probably get to 11 billion minimum, and it could get a full extension to 24 billion. From current price, you're talking about an ROI of 2x as high as a 5x. I think that that's super plausible. Super plausible for SUI. For me, I'm not buying it, but I think it's probably going to do well. He says, please don't listen to buying Solnick. Okay. Don't buy it. Don't listen to anything I say. How about that? Make your own investment thesis. Make your own investment thesis. How about that? I'm telling you what I'm buying. How about you be a big boy and make your own investment thesis? You don't think Solana's a value yet? I am chilling on Solana, personally. Solana was so violent. Okay, so like Josh calls it, the bull market begets the bear. Solana was so violent in the bull market, it has more to give back. So I'm waiting to see what it does here. I think it's a higher risk, but I do think it will return really good. But the question is, like, are we going to firmly lose this? Is this the spring here? Are we going to firmly lose this and then come down here? Or are we going to start accumulating with everything else and get back going? I don't know the answer for Solana, and I think that there is a decent risk that if you do lose this, you could come and refill all this and you have, more downside risk. I like Solana fundamentally. Like, I think it's a great project. I think it's here to stay. Like, what they're buying, what they're building is amazing. It's not part of my DCA right this second because I want to see a clear broken downtrend for me personally, for my own personal investment thesis. But I think it's a great project. I take payment in Solana. Like, I love Solana. Solana's great. But I see the risk here. There is a reward, like, hey, that's it. And, you're just going, you would have a Fibonacci extension. If you say, like, hey, that's it, we're not going any lower, then you would have, 2618 is $315 billion market cap. That would be insane. And from current prices, that's a 6x. So I think that's super probable, honestly. So a 6x to a 50% downside, really not crazy, honestly. 50% downside risk to a 6x. Not crazy. You might talk me into it, honestly. Don't forget to look at the Russell. It's at 264, so it's close, but no cigar just yet. So could fill at $40. Yeah, it could. I'm not predicting that it's going to do that, but until we get out of like the woods, so to speak, I'm not going to add Solana. I don't predict that it's going to do that, but the risk is there. So for me, it's not like I'm looking for coins that have higher support. You know what I'm saying?
Haters are out today. Yeah. A disbelief rally. That's what you call it. They can't stand to see a dude succeed. They can't stand to see a dude succeed. I'm exposing people. I am exposing people. And that's it. Missed Bitcoin prediction. Deeper capitulation loading. Sure, that's fine. I have limit orders at 58K. Sure. Listen, the biggest risk right now is being greedy. It shows up every bear market. Every bottom, greed shows up. People wait for the day that never comes. I'm waiting for a dumb comment, and then I'm going to expose someone. Would this be stocks like Kraken? I'm super new to this. Because I gave the standard, you see. The standard is, I gave all the events. Hold me to the standard. Hold every crypto creator to the standard. And let the light shine through. June of 2022. November of 2022. March 10th, 2023. 9/11, 2023. July 5th, 2024. August 5th, 2024. April 7th, 2025. These are all the scariest events in crypto over the last 4 years. Go to every creator and look at what were they saying around this time frame. What type of information were they giving their audience? Hold me to the standard, hold everyone to the standard. Give them a week grace. Maybe on the day it was scary. Give them a couple weeks. October 10th. Sure, October 10th. Hold them to that standard. Hold me to the standard. And check it out. If they were not making videos during these events, it is a giant red flag. Yes, October 10th. Hold me to that standard too. The totality of the entire thing. If they were not making videos on the biggest, scariest events, it is a red flag. If a full-time content creator was not producing content on the biggest events in crypto, it means one of two things. Either they are a front runner and will leave you to the wolves when things get scary and bloody, or B, they are deleting videos. If they are deleting videos, that is malicious. All right. Thoughts on ICP and Flux? I think good values. I'm buying Flux at this price. ICP is a hold for me. All because you lost a bet? What bet did Punky lose? Deleting videos is wild. That's right. Judge me to the whole standard of the whole time. I will never delete a video. I will stand by my work, period. Good and bad. Let the totality speak for itself. And let the light shine through. Period. Rose and VeChain. Yeah, VeChain for sure. Rose is a hold. I thought alt season would happen in July. Listen, I had 2025 wrong too. But my videos are still up. I had Bitcoin and XRP nailed all the way up to 118. I took some profit at 118. The last move right here tricked me. When we were at 118, anybody who did a portfolio review with me had an exit target of 118 on my mama. I was like, once we got to 118, I was like, I don't know, guys. This was my target. We came down, and then we went up to 126. This fooled me. 100%. 100%. This move right here fooled me. I publicly sold XRP at... My God, where is my... Jesus. Where did my... So this is me yesterday. Here we go. I publicly sold XRP January 25th, 2025 after buying it for years and years. The average price of $3.33 and bought land. My thing is like people deleting videos and pretending like you call the top every single day, every single week, and then you delete videos and then you leave the ones that are correct. That's crazy. I'm accountable when I'm wrong. You saw me shave my beard live. So, hey, got that wrong. Here's me conceding that I was wrong. Have to regroup. Be accountable. Move forward. Period. Who was deleting videos? New beard bet dropped. I have a beard bet, yes. I had a beard bet a while ago. So the bet is, I made this a while ago. Well, I'm not going to... Listen, the next idiot who comes in here saying nonsense, I promise you, I'm spilling the beans and I'm exposing people. I have undeniable factual proof. And one day I will be mature enough. I will be mature enough to not have the urge to expose idiots who speak things out with that I can verifiably disprove. But today is not that day. Run up, ho. People out here saying that I'm copying other creators talking about the blood moon. Run up, ho. Today's not the day. I'm exposing people. This is me during the blood moon, live as FTX was going to zero. Literally, this is a live stream as FTX is literally going to zero. And I talked about that I fasted 4 months in advance. I fasted for 9 days consecutive for the lunar eclipse in November because I thought there would be some sacrifice that was happening, and I had all my cash ready to push the chips forward, just like I sold all of my silver and all of my gold with cash ready to push the chips forward. Yesterday, we tweeted this out. I'm pushing the chips forward. Financially ready. I fasted for 9 days consecutive. It's going to be KO for you. Okay? Now, when these type of events happen, if you are ready, this is a major, major opportunity. If you got some cash on the side, if you got some cash on the side, this is a major opportunity where you can strike while the iron is hot. Striking while the iron is hot, while the iron is red. When it is hot, it is blood red. Be Like Water says, let's go. And then XTC to $10 says, SBF just got liquidated. Golden Goose, but just got slaughtered. That's what I've been saying. I have been saying this. I have been calling this out. The Shemitah is very, very powerful. And we have one more lunar eclipse in December. Something could happen here, but this to me is the biggest buying opportunity. The biggest FTT at buying opportunity. And later on in the video, like you can see my limit orders getting filled. So, and then, yeah, what was I saying about the other thing? Oh, the beard bet. The beard bet is, I made this a few weeks ago. I don't even know where it is, but I said Bitcoin will not close a daily body below 50K or I will shave my head, shave my beard, and I'll give away $500. Daily body below 50K or I will shave my beard, shave my head, and give away $500. And you know I'll do it.
Thoughts on the Jane Street lawsuit? It's super fishy to me, bro. Okay, let me ask. I don't know if you're still in the chat. Is she still in the chat? Where'd she go? Did you block her? Where did she go? Hopefully you didn't block her. Angel Money. What was I going to ask you? Oh, there we go. Angel Money knows. I pay my debts. Wait 4 minutes. I pay my debts. If I'm wrong, I do it live. I'm a man of my word. I pay my debts. That's it. So that's the beard bet. Daily body below 50K, or I will shave my beard, shave my head, give away $500. Now, the thing about what was the purpose of the fast? To cleanse myself of impurities, to purge myself, to get myself correct mentally, emotionally, spiritually, so that I was ready. Like, I was excited, visibly excited as FTX was going to zero because I planned for it. All right, the Jane lawsuit is super. Oh, this is what I was going to ask. This is what I was going to ask her. I've been in this space grinding. I have heard of Jane one time over the last 5 years. One time. How many times have you heard of it? And it's not a gotcha. Because I think it's super fishy that all of a sudden everyone is like, this is the boogeyman. Jane, they caused the 1010 crash. They caused Luna to go to zero. They caused FTX. They caused 9/11. I never heard of them. One time I heard of them. One time I heard of them. So I find it very fishy that Bitcoin's pumping first time and then it's the boogeyman. I think we're probably going to fill this wick out over here. I think we're going to get the last lunar eclipse, just like we were talking about, is November 3rd or March 3rd. The last lunar eclipse. Maybe some player gets sacrificed. I don't know. I'm very open-minded, though, that we come down, sweep these lows. 59K, 58K, whatever. I don't care. I'm not predicting that, but this pump is pretty fishy to me. And that's someone who's saying that this was the spring. What do you mean ICP is a hold? It's neither a buy nor a sell. So this is accumulation. There's real volume coming in, especially on Ethereum. The volume tells the truth. The volume speaks volumes to what's happening. Haters will say it's AI. Get him, Ski. One of these days, I will be mature enough. Today's not the day, though. Yeah. So March 3rd. Be on the lookout for opportunities. I'm telling you now. I'm not predicting it, but I'm DCAing 1% of my available capital every day until the 15th. Once the 15th comes and goes, I am going to ramp up exponentially to where I am fully allocated by April 1st. That is my plan. If we get a lower dip or some crazy event between now and then, I'm going to speed up the process. That's my plan. You do with that information whatever you want. Whatever you want. I don't care at this point. Like, I literally do not care if Bitcoin is at 65K, 55K, 58K, 62. I don't care. It's forming its bottom. I don't care what the price is. I am buying aggressively. I am buying aggressively at this point. You do whatever you want. You make your own investment thesis. How about that? You make your own investment thesis. I'm telling you what I'm doing with my money. It's my money. I want it now. No, Angel's cool, Dano.
He probably muted you because the haters have been out tonight. The haters been lurking tonight. It's all good though. What'd you say about Bitcoin today? I missed it. This is accumulation, strong accumulation for sure. My thesis is this is the spring. And if we relate it to 2022, I want to show you how this plays out. FTX was the major event that took place, right? FTX goes to zero. That was not the bottom, though. There was no event over here that took place, but we swept the low. So the wick low was 15,600 when FTX went to zero. We came up, immediately pumped up from that all the way up to 18,000. That's a huge pump. That's a huge percentage gain. And then we rolled over 2 weeks later and swept the lows. You can see the actual low on Bitcoin was the 22nd or 21st, excuse me. 15,473 was on the 21st. I am not necessarily predicting that that's going to happen. I got to be honest though, this Jane thing coming out of nowhere, I've been in this space my whole, dedicating my life to this for going on over a decade at this point. I've heard about Jane one time, and now all of a sudden it's the talk of the town. It makes me very suspicious. So I'm open-minded to us sweeping the lows just like we did in when Bitcoin went to zero, when FTX went to zero. I'm not necessarily predicting it. This was a Shemitah year. This was the 7th year, the sabbatical year. So we don't need to have a sacrificial lamb. I think that that's going to be reserved for 2028, 2029. But I'm open-minded to it. I've told you guys my plan yesterday. I said I am pushing the chips forward. Let me be clear. I have no interest in buying the wick low. I want to be in the correct flavor like last bear market where I averaged $22,000 Bitcoin and 33-cent XRP. I will be DCAing 1% of my available capital until the 15th of March because the 3rd of March is the last lunar eclipse until 2029. After the 15th, if a big event hasn't happened, I will be more aggressive. I plan to be 100% allocated by April 1st. If a big event happens between now and then, between today and whenever, between the 15th, I guess, I will be more aggressive about the DCA. In addition to that, I have limit orders at 62K and 58K. Do with this information what you will. So I bought yesterday at 63K. I bought this morning at 64K. I'm going to buy again tomorrow. I'm buying some XRP here. I haven't bought any XRP. I haven't bought a dime of XRP until this February. I publicly sold my XRP and bought land January 25th, 2025. You wrecked your followers, Ski. Meanwhile, here's my YouTube video. I sold XRP and bought land January 25th, 2025. The price was $3.33. I have not bought a dime of XRP until the 5th when we had that crash. I accumulated a little bit at $1.20 average price, and I'm buying the same thing, XRP. I'm DCAing a little bit. Hold or DCA? I think hold. You could put it as a venture capital play. I think that you want to be really heavy into the, your fundamental meat and potatoes. So Bitcoin for me is half of my DCA. And then you could pick another big project, whether it's Ethereum, whether it's Link, whether it's XRP, whatever, VeChain, whatever the big blue chip coin that you love as your number 2. And that could be 20-30%. And then you have your venture capital plays. You still want to preserve there's still risk here. It's not off to Neverland. There's still risk here. So you want to preserve that. I am buying into VeChain now, yes. Yeah, Angel, I'm not trying to be a gotcha. I've dedicated my whole life to this for the last decade. I'm just trying to prove a point.
I've heard of them one time in 2022. One time. And now all of a sudden they're the talk of the town. I know that you're serious in this space too. How many times have you heard of Jane Street? I heard of them once briefly in 2022. One time briefly. They were not on my radar. And now all of a sudden they're the talk of the town. Did you see the volume indent? Oh, man. The volume. I love it. Beautiful. Ethereum, too. Look at this volume on Ethereum. Look at that beautiful volume coming in. Volume speaks volumes, ladies and gentlemen. Volume tells you the truth. If there's crazy amounts of volume coming in, it tells you it's a real move. Doesn't mean we'll never go lower ever again. Although I think Ethereum 1741 has bottomed. Same thing in 2022. Ethereum bottomed way before Bitcoin. Are we going to run this year? I think so. No, make sure you guys follow Angel. She's good. She's dedicating. The Bollinger Bands on Bitcoin are very compressed. It's great news. I don't know. Friday, gonna bomb, make go down. I hope so. I have limit orders at 58K. Hope so. I hope so. Just relief. Okay. Listen, I'm telling you what I'm doing. I bought silver for 8 years at the average price of $20. I sold all of my silver. I sold a huge chunk at $78. I sold a huge chunk at $107. People were like, Nana Boo Boo at $121. Stick your face in doo-doo. And then we went to 62 in a week. Okay? I love buying silver. It's my favorite asset to buy. It's like a hobby for me. I love it. I have dry powder because of this. All right? And I said yesterday, I said this. The 24th, not before this pump happened, yesterday. I am pushing the chips forward. I have no interest in buying the wick low. I don't care. I bought the average price of Bitcoin of $22,000 last bear market. I bought XRP, the average price of 33 cents. I have zero interest in being the guy who buys the absolute wick low. I hope it's you. One person's going to do it. I hope each and every one of you are the ones to do it. I don't care. I want to be in the correct flavor. I do not care about buying the wick low. That is a fool's errand, and it is not for me. I will be DCAing 1% of my available dry powder until the 15th. After the 15th, if a big event has not happened, I will aggressively DCA more. If a big event happens between now and then, I will accelerate the DCA. In addition, I have limit orders at 62K and 58K. Do with this information what you will. That's my plan. I don't care. It's too, like, the risk to reward is too valuable. Okay? We're trading every single day in the Telegram. Here's my month of February. He wins, or he only posts when he wins. Nope. 2 losing days. Okay? 16 winning days in February, 2 losing days, 6 days where I didn't trade. If you look at the risk to reward, if you set it up like a trade, that's what I try to do. I try to have at least double the risk to reward on every single trade that I do. That's my own personal philosophy. If you look at where we're at with Bitcoin right now and the risk to reward, if you view it like a trade, and you want to tell me that we're going to 50K for Bitcoin, 48K, sure, I'll buy it for $1. I don't care. Sure. Okay. We're talking 16%. Okay. So let's imagine a world where you're going to risk $1,000 of your own money. Okay? And let's say you were shorting. You're shorting the market, so you're betting it's going to go down. Let's say your upside potential is 16%. That's great. But your risk is a 2x. Your risk is a 3x. Your risk is a 4x. Would you risk $1,000 to gain $160 in order to potentially lose $4,000? No, that is terrible. That is the worst thing possible. Sam says, I've been buying physical silver for years now, and very good investment, has definitely paid off. I love silver. Same thing for silver. I'm not interested in buying silver again until we get back into the 50s. My Bollinger Bands are very depressed. So like, yeah, if you look at it like a trade, to me, the trade is like 4x gain for a 16% loss. I would take that again and again and again. In fact, it's the law of big numbers. You want to get as many 4x ROI for 16% losses as humanly possible. But I promise you what's going to happen. What will happen is just like it did in 2022. Just like it did in April. Just like it did over here when everyone was saying that we were going to 30K. Just like it did here when everyone was saying we were going to 30K. Just like it did in the war in Israel when everyone was saying we were going to 12K. Just like it did when Silicon Valley Bank went to 0, Bitcoin pulls back to 20K. Everyone says we're going to 12K. Just like when FTX went to 0, everybody said we're going to 12K. What happens is every time we get in the midst of despair, the midst of disparity, greed shows up. Greed doesn't just show up at the top. Greed shows up in the form of, I know that this is a good value, but I'm going to wait for this X number that I have in my day. And guess what? It comes, the accumulation comes, it goes, and people don't buy. Can it go lower? Sure. Will it matter 3 years from now? No. Let me ask you, if your average price on Bitcoin is $22,000, does it matter right now? Even in the midst of the despair? No, it doesn't. I am chilling. Would you be cool with an average price of 22K Bitcoin right now? That's pretty good. So when I was buying last bear market, average price of 22K. Did I get the absolute wick low? Nope. Do I care? Nope. Ski, how long do you think we stay in the 60 to 69K range? I think by April we're out of it, honestly, if not sooner. Sorry, dog. Okay, cool. Okay, listen, I'm buying here. You do with that information what you will. Ski, whisper sweet nothings into our ear. All right, here, you want me to tell you sweet nothings? You don't need to buy now. It's going to go lower and you can just accumulate then. Don't worry. Be greedy. Wait for 38K. And then when we get there, go ahead and move it again. Move the goalpost one more time to 30K. And just keep doing that until we leave and you never bought. Is that the sweet nothings you wanted to hear? Can you chart Link? Link has the same setup as silver. That's Wyckoff accumulation. I'm buying Link here too. So Bitcoin is the main thing that I'm buying, but I am buying some other coins. Bitcoin is the 50% of what I'm buying right now. Bull Trap RSI on the daily. Watch out. Blood Moon. 100% 5-star knows what's up. I think we probably sweep the lows, but I do think we're accumulating the bottom here. I'm still accumulating 1% daily. I think we do sweep the lows. I think that's very much on the table. 59K, whatever. Like, sure. I think we very much sweep the lows here. I'm suspicious of this Jane thing, honestly. How about at 22K? We have Wall Street now. 100% also. Okay. Josh calls it. Okay. Let me read this comment because it's good. He says, last bear market, Bitcoin went from 69K to 16K, almost 75%. But we have Wall Street now. The inflation on Bitcoin is half of what it was. There was never a year of support. You have 290 days of support here. You have 250 days of support over here. And also, Josh calls it, my friend Josh, he calls it, you should follow him, Crypto Y'all. He calls it the bull market begets the bear market. I call it balance. I call it yin yang. The market is always trying to find balance and imbalances in the market. So when you have a very violent bull market, you have more to give back. So from the C19 to the top was a 22x or 100% gain. Okay. From the FTX collapse to the 126 top was a 7x. We do not have as much to give back. We barely went into price discovery. The market is about balance and finding imbalances. It's already back to the 200-week moving average. It's already here. That's where it's went every stinking bear market. Also, where it's went every stinking bear market was the top of the prior range. Where are we right now? The top of the prior range. Is the volume showing up at a crazy level? Yes, it is. Look at this volume. The highest volume since the Japan rate cut. Volume speaks volumes. It tells you the truth. When you have crazy amounts of volume coming in, it tells you something is taking place here. Volume speaks volumes. Okay? It speaks volumes. So yeah. Where can we follow him? On TikTok. I think we're gonna do another live stream soon. Yeah, buddy. Jane Black Swan, maybe. Does that mean the market lows are in? I talked about this in my Telegram earlier today when we were trading. Here's what no one wants to see, but I think is possible. Unfortunately, if you get a micro full extension here to 72K, 75K, pump into that, here's what no one's prepared for. And I'm not predicting this, but I'm saying like, hey, what does the market makers like to do? What do the apex predators like to do? They like to take the most painful route possible. Going up, rejection, sweep the lows, and then that's it. How many of you are ready for that? Going up to 75, coming back to 58, and then off to Neverland. Who's getting wrecked here? I'm not predicting this as the base case. I think that this is on the board, though. Especially because we have the last lunar eclipse until 2029. I cannot emphasize how big of a deal that is.
I think that's a solid list, Pat's World. For me, it's Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, Link, VeChain. And my venture capital plays, those are the the meat and potatoes. My venture capital plays are Solnic, Dis, Flux, Dynex. I actually think it's a high chance of happening. Yeah, and just have a plan. Be ready for it. You know what I'm saying? I have a plan. If we get that, I'm already DCAing 1% every day. If we get a crazy opportunity, I'm taking it. I don't care. I am not afraid. I have never been afraid. I have been in Iraq with bombs going off. I have been in Afghanistan with bombs going off. I assure you, I am not afraid. That is what fear looks like. This is not fear. I was talking to my wife about this the other day. It annoys her how chill I am all the time. Just unbothered by everything. It's like, I'm not stressed about anything. It's like, bro, I was in Iraq with bombs going off. I don't care about this. I don't care about some idiot cutting me off in traffic. Are you afraid of wearing women's clothing? Women's clothing, though. I'm not afraid. But I have morals and respect. And it's never going to happen. You're never catching me in a dress. Okay? LCX. I think LCX is solid. Algo, good value at 8-9 cents. Sure. Like, make your own investment thesis. This is mine. You know? And do with that information what you will. All right, guys. We are live trading in the Telegram every single day. Monday through Friday. It's a live stream. It's not meant to be entertaining. I call out what I'm thinking, why I'm thinking it. I'm sharing my screen, giving my entries, giving my stop losses. This is the month of February. 16 winning days, 2 losing days, 6 flat days. If you guys are interested in lifetime access to that, you can hit me in the DMs. If you want to book a call with me, get some one-on-one coaching, get a portfolio, entry strategy, exit strategy, you can book a call with me on the Calendly. That also comes with lifetime access to the Telegram. Okay? That is going to be it, though. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, follow me on YouTube, at your boy Ski, at Skis Crypto on my other TikTok, which is the one that's live right now. I'm at your boy Ski on Instagram. I am at Gayeski. You could search your boy Ski, but just make sure the handle says Gayeski. On Twitter, I will never message you first. Those are scammers. For the love of God, I'm not going to message you and ask you for money. If you message me, I will message you back. But I'm not going to message you first. Those are scammers. I'm not going to ask you, how's your trading going? I don't care. Okay? I'm unbothered by everything. All right. And if you're like, is this the real Ski? I'm happy to hop on a 2-minute Google call to verify I'm the real deal. I don't need, I'm not a prince from Nigeria. None of that stuff. All right, guys. Peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless.